Today on Tuna Zoo.
That's probably a good thing for us to spend a moment talking to them about. We get tons of questions. When are they going to go to school? When are your kids going to go to school? Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and check out our other YouTube channel for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Go to behindthezoo.com and hit subscribe while you're there. Here we go.
So some days are really uneventful, and today I've been sick and been in bed about half the day. And so we ordered Chinese, and we didn't do much. We didn't do much at all today. And we realized at 9:30 that we have not vlogged one dang thing today.
By the way, I just got off work 3 minutes ago.
That's also...
I've worked all day. What do you vlog on a day like that?
I know.
You know, we're just in survival mode when Melanie's sick. And my work is being demanding. So
we didn't go out of the house today. We stayed in, and the kids play with their birthday presents, and we just tried to keep the kids alive, literally, basically today.
That's
the bar today.
Let me talk to parents for a second. Do you ever have days where the bar is just feeding your children, making sure they are alive and they have something to drink and they're clothed, but other than that, it's just rough? I mean, Caleb did homeschool, right?
Caleb did homeschool. He actually did a lot of homeschool today.
Caleb's the only one who did homeschool today.
He's the only one that has it left.
Everyone's finishing out the year, and Melanie's getting ready for Evaluations, that's right. I couldn't even think of the word. I'm so fried. And that's probably a good thing for us to spend a moment talking to them about is what evaluations are. We get tons of questions of people saying, still, when are they going to go to school? When are your kids going to go to school? And
is homeschool legit?
Well, most people don't even know that we homeschool because they don't assume that. Especially our international viewers. Many of you are from countries where homeschool is not widely adopted. In America, it is widely adopted. And the same curriculums and even better curriculums are available for you to use when you homeschool sometimes than is used in public school or even some private schools. Like our public schools do not use the best curriculum. No. Honestly. The curriculum in public school does not push children as much as some other curriculums. We use ABECA. It's a really great curriculum. It pushes your child to learn fast. It's an aggressive, would you call it aggressive? I think it's pretty aggressive compared to some other stuff. And that's what we use, and
they love it. Like
they do. They do great with it.
If they weren't doing so well, we probably would change it to something else. But I have heard that ABECA is more like on an AP level. Yeah. So, like Caleb's reading, I would think at a 5th grade level already.
Maybe higher.
His major accomplishment was that he read all of the New Testament this year, which is on his own. We didn't ask him; he just did it. So
at 8 years old, I'm really proud of him.
I didn't do that.
I didn't read the New Testament till I was like 17. In fairness to me, I was not even in church till I was 15. But anyway, back to evaluations. Along with homeschool and us using whatever curriculum we choose and teaching them in a one-on-one way and all that, we have evaluations every year, which Melanie's getting ready for. We go to a third-party evaluator who looks at the totality of each child's work for the year and helps judge where they're at relative to where they should be. And so it's a little bit of a stressful time because Melanie's like creating these binders. Yeah. We'll have to show you those binders
when it's all put together.
Whenever they're done, yeah. Katie won't have one because she's only been home for
Logan won't
a
have
few
one
months.
Either because he's in kindergarten.
And Logan's looks different, exactly. But Caleb will have one that's pretty complete. Yep. And it will have all his work for the whole year, all of his grades, because he's still graded. He still takes tests. He still has book reports. He started book reports this year.
He did. He's doing great with them.
He has projects, you know.
He had a lot. He had a lot for a 3rd grader this year. Creative writing. He had a science notebook that we had to create.
So all of that goes together to create this packet that you give to the evaluator. And then the evaluator sits your child down and talks through it all with them. And depending on how things are looking, she'll probe certain things to see how the child liked certain things, what they learned,
Yeah.
how things are functioning. You know, it's good to have that type of accountability. And I think that's what people are mainly concerned with, especially in other countries. When you learn about these Americans who school their children at home, you're wondering, well, how does that work? Where's the accountability? Who do you report to? Who makes sure that you're doing it right? And that's what evaluation is for. It's so that you can show basically a college someday that you were evaluated every year, that your child stayed on track, that a professional evaluator made sure that your child was meeting certain learning marks every year.
Right.
And if you have a child that ends up falling behind or something, the evaluator can catch that, and they can maybe work with mom and dad.
Suggest
right,
tools
yeah,
and
exactly,
things
to create some kind of learning plan that gets them back on track. For us, everyone in our household is at where they're supposed to be or ahead of schedule. Like Caleb is advancing and excelling past where kids typically are at his age, which is awesome. We're really proud of him. And I think everyone else is just going to follow suit because we keep them on that schedule, and the curriculum pushes them and challenges them. Exactly. It pushes the wrong word, because we're not pushing them beyond what they're capable of, but the curriculum is challenging. And so far everyone has risen to the occasion, and we have, we work with each of them individually and create learning plans and ideas that challenge them based on their own personality. And that's kind of the cool thing about homeschooling, is you can do something that works for each individual child. And since you don't have a classroom full of 30 of them, you can do that for 4 kids. And you have 2 teachers here who are working together and coming up with ideas. And then when there's problems, like, we can work together on how to overcome those, whether they're attitude problems or motivation problems. We've had plenty of motivation problems, with school. There's some days they wake up just like us adults. We don't want to go to work. Well, they don't want to go to school. I remember that when I was a kid. There was days I just didn't want to go to school. So we can find ways to motivate, and since it's homeschool, we can create the schedule that works for getting them motivated. And
well, and it's also nice to have 2 eyes, because the way that I teach a concept and the way that Caleb does videos, so he has a teacher. Sometimes neither of us does the concept click, so sometimes I invite Mike to help me out, and between the 3 approaches, something clicks in his head.
If something's not clicking, I can come in and just introduce a third way of seeing it, and sometimes that's the way that makes it click. And that's totally an advantage that we have as their parents, as their teachers, that a single teacher teaching them in public school or private school would not have, because that one teacher is going to be in charge of by themselves using whatever resources they have to figure out how to teach our child. So there's a lot of advantages to homeschool, aside from safety and all that stuff these days, unfortunately, but there's just a lot of educational benefits to it too.
With Caleb's personality and how well he's adapted to homeschool, going back to a traditional learning style would not be great for him.
He doesn't want to.
Yeah. He pushes himself so much that he can get a week's worth of videos and work done in a few days. So he's
incredibly motivated.
He's very motivated, and he actually studies like what I did in college. And like, he takes a great deal of initiative in his learning, and that's like been really cool to see that him just embrace that this year.
We're probably going to do a Q&A video on just homeschool. We get so many questions about homeschool.
So the homeschool evaluator is registered with our county. So this is like a county approved evaluation, and then we submit our evaluation to the county, and that's how we can opt to homeschool.
You have to do that.
Yeah, that's basically, there's one of 2 ways, and that's the easiest of the 2 ways.
And I think that's the big question people have is, it's not that people are doubting whether this is right for our kids. I think the big question is it legal? And how do you do it in a way that it stays legal? And that's what Melanie's talking about. We have to show the county that we're doing it, that we're being reviewed, and that Caleb is meeting certain learning markers and or learning thresholds or milestones, whatever the word is. And other than that, you can continue to homeschool your kid.
Katie will also be evaluated just to see what level she's at and put a plan together for next year. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, and just putting a plan together and seeing how quickly she can continue to learn the language. She's doing really, really well now.
Oh, she's doing incredible. Every day she says she's actually learned how to comprehend who, what, where, why, and how individually.
Yeah,
and apply those words. And that has made, oh my goodness, so much of communication with her is just flowing now. We know we know if we're talking about a person, a place, a thing, a situation, an idea.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, it's just gotten so easy. And that's just making learning that much easier. So people have asked us, what grade is she in? And just the grade levels work completely different than India.
Right.
And we really still don't know what grade she's in. The evaluator is going to help us figure that out.
And then we'll come up with a plan to get her
where she probably
needs to be
if she's behind.
Right. Our main focus will be trying to teach her how to read in English. That's probably our main objective. I know that's what the evaluator will say.
Yeah, because learning English is the gateway to all other subjects for her now.
Right. I know one of the things that the evaluator is going to push and know that we need to do probably this summer, or at least the very beginning of the school year, is to teach her how to read. Because she's not going to be able to go into first grade without being able to read in English. So that will be her next threshold of learning.
And when we say read, we mean basic reading.
I mean, not like
the boy jumped over the fence type stuff.
Right, and to know what each word means.
Right, exactly. Nothing complicated. The difference between a noun and an action, a noun and a verb, right?
Right.
Basically, if she can get that stuff down. Because I remember even the reading I did in public school was very basic and first grade. It wasn't complicated stuff at all. The vocabulary was so, and I'm talking about the very first little reading book they gave us in first grade. I remember going in there like the day before school started, where you go meet your teacher.
Yeah.
I remember the book. I can visualize the book.
Funny.
It had a turtle and a bear on it. And I guess they were the characters that you followed throughout the book. And it was very basic. It was basic stuff.
Yeah.
So she won't have to get very far into learning to read before she's ready for first grade. So
no.
I don't want people thinking, what she got to read? Like,
not like
that
textbooks,
much.
just like simple sentences and comprehend what those are. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what our next 2 weeks look like for homeschool. Caleb has one math test left, and then all his book work is completely done. So we're actually celebrating being done with homeschool this weekend too, which will be so fun. And I'm excited because this year has been a challenge because we changed curriculums 6 weeks in.
Yeah.
So for Caleb to finish the second week in May, not even the second week in May.
That's incredible.
I was thinking that he wouldn't finish till July, and this kid is so motivated.
Basically did 9 months of school in 7 months.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That kid is brilliant. I'm so proud of him. That is rough.
He has really pushed himself, and has straight A's. So
Yeah.
I could not be more proud of him. And this is the third year we've homeschooled, and this is the third year that he's gotten straight A's. So I'm sure that...
And it's getting better every year.
Yeah,
It's getting easier every year.
He has taken his own initiative this year, and it has made it a lot more joyful to teach him. Yeah. And to see, I can actually see the fruit because I'm not as involved because he's doing the videos.
And Timmy starts pre-K next year.
Mm-hmm. He's going...
Our little baby.
He's going to school. He's going for half a day.
To a little half-day program at a local preschool. I think we've shared that before. We do that with each of our children because our state in America offers it for free for 4-year-olds. Why would you not do it? So they offer it. You can just enroll your child, and what it does is it lets him go learn in a classroom,
right?
And get an idea, so he can get an idea in his mind of what a classroom should look like. Yep. For 1 full year, he'll be in that program. It's called Pre-K4, so that when he gets to kindergarten and he comes home to be taught by mom, he in his mind knows what our homeschool room should look like.
Absolutely.
What it means to raise your hand, follow rules, have lunchtime, have nap time. He gets an idea of what the classroom setting should look like so he can be productive when he comes home for kindergarten.
Logan did that last year, and
oh man,
kindergarten was a breeze.
It
that
turned
dude could
Logan,
have flown through kindergarten.
We were worried. Logan, before he went to that pre-K program, was such a little beast.
Oh man, go
running
with the
around
flow,
and getting messy. Nothing organized about that child at all. And he went to preschool for 1 year, and he turned into a little student who loves to learn and understands what a subject is.
Loves to read.
Loves to read. It lays like a good foundation for him to be homeschooled. So we think it's going to do the same thing for Timmy. By the way, Katie has had something similar to that in India. It was a little different because their teacher our understanding is their teacher came to the orphanage and would teach at the orphanage, but it was still a classroom setting where there were little desks that they would sit at and they would have to raise their hand to speak, is our understanding. And she would learn about subjects and colors and shapes and things like that. So even though it was all in a different language, she still, in her mind, knows what the classroom setting looks like, which is why when she came home, she had no problem sitting in her chair and opening her book and doing her work. She knows what it means to be assigned something to do. She would listen, and she fit right into the classroom setting very easily. So Timmy will be the fourth one to sit into that, and just 1 year from now, you'll be getting ready to bring Timmy home and have 4 kids in homeschool. That'll be crazy.
What's even crazier is Caleb will be in 5th grade.
Caleb's almost in middle school, junior high.
We were talking about that last night. I can't believe it.
He's about to be in middle school youth group. But anyways, so that's the end of the year. It's winding down. My finals are even done. I finished both my finals. Hebrew and Greek are done. Both those classes are done. And now I'm preparing for my first PhD course. It's this summer. It's only 3 days. It's an intensive course where I have to drive to North Carolina or fly, or maybe the whole family will go. And we'll see. And it's only 3 days.
Intensive is not even the word.
3 days, and there's 24 textbooks. 24 books, 24 sources that I have to read. And some of them I have to read the whole book. Most of them I have to read the whole book and know the whole book. And I have papers to write on all of that. 24, and this is one 3-day class. And there are tons more classes. This is the tip of the iceberg. I couldn't even believe it. I opened the syllabus today.
And he had a heart attack, literally almost a heart attack.
Melanie said, Mike, you're flush in the face, you're red. And I'm even a little red now, I think. I'm turning red thinking about it. It's like, I knew it would be intense. But Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary does not fool around. They make it intense because when you cross that stage and you're a PhD, you'll know you earned it.
It's a big deal.
They will not have handed it to you. You will have earned it. So
he'll do awesome. I've told him that the whole day. He'll do awesome.
I'm finishing 2 classes and getting ready to start another.
We're taking it in stride. We're taking it in stride. He's not 24 books is not a huge deal. When you think that you're breaking it down into 12 weeks, he can figure it out.
2 books a week.
He can do it.
2 books a week.
And you said you don't have to read all of it. All of them.
I'll have to find a way to organize it and break it all up to get it done. So anyways, this video has just been 2 people talking on a couch for 20 minutes. And some of you are like, when are we going to show the kids? Well, the kids are already asleep. So if you've been watching this long, this is probably the part where you're going to stop watching. But if you're still watching, we appreciate you watching every day, day in, day out. On the days where we get to do something fun and unique, and it's a themed video where we go to a Bengali bazaar mart or whatever, and then we appreciate you being so dedicated that you'll even watch on the days where there are no plans and we're just...
Sickness is rampant. Yeah,
we're sick and tired and the kids are asleep and we're just trying to give you something for today. So we hope you enjoyed getting to hear about homeschool. Many of you have had so many questions about that, and we'll do a Q&A video and write down some Q&A questions. And please, if you have questions about homeschool, especially if you're an international viewer, or if you are someone who's thinking about homeschooling their kids,
that's a
we
good
would
idea
love
too.
to answer questions for you too. So we're going to do a special Q&A video on homeschool if you all can send us all the questions that you would want us to talk about. We won't do it if no one sends questions, because we'll take that as nobody cares.
This was enough information.
This was enough. But if you have specific questions, please send those to the email address that's down in the description, and we'll be happy to do that over on Behind the Zoo. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, we hope that you will consider subscribing. We are almost at 25,000 subscribers, and when that happens, we're going on our 25,000 subscriber milestone trip, and we already know the destination. We're getting ready to go. We're thinking that it's this weekend. So help us get there. So please subscribe and like and comment and share all that stuff that's really important to this channel. And if you haven't subscribed to Behind the Zoo, our other channel, please go to the channels tab and click subscribe there to that channel. That one's about to hit 10,000, which is awesome. Awesome. That one's been growing lately too. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.